But I think that's something that
Yeah.
that most people in business have a hard time doing, and I couldn't have done that the first 5 years.
Oh, no. And for the longest time, I kept my job and worked, because it's not that I didn't think that you couldn't do it, but being though you are a product from bankruptcy, so I do know that you're going to do whatever it takes not to go in that direction. But I always wanted a backup, because if nothing else, I could pay the bills if you couldn't pay the bills, because I didn't want Bella going through any of that. So that was another kind of stressor that I guess we dealt with all the time, because that's something that I probably put on you and didn't mean to put on you, but I think it motivated you to keep building and doing better.
And then, just so people here, they're just now checking in, maybe they haven't watched any of the earlier videos, they need to understand that you didn't just quit being a nurse. No, now you work here in the warehouse.
Right.
And you do all of the payments and the logistics, which is the shipping.
Yes.
For all for the whole business.
Right.
And instead of us hiring somebody out, and he got so busy that I had to get you to literally quit your job.
Right. And it made it a lot, I think, better for us, because of the fact there's a lot of times, unfortunately, because he is busy, Bella sometimes has one parent to do everything with. That's another thing that you have to kind of sacrifice, and I know that bothers you a lot, that you have to sacrifice that, but we go a lot. Bella does competitive dance, and so we go to competitions, and she makes it to where she can go to the nationals or worlds every year in Florida, and that's one thing that Chad doesn't get to go and do, because he can't leave for a week like that, because sometimes we don't know if she's going to go until probably about a month beforehand. And all of our vacations, that's another thing, we didn't go on any type of vacations until Bella was you 5 or 6? Yeah. And all the kids around her had already went to the beach. She didn't go to the beach till she was 14?
Yeah.
And she didn't go to Disney until she was 7 years old, and all the other kids had went, but we literally planned Disney a week beforehand.
Got very lucky. We
got very lucky, and while we were there, Bella didn't get to do a lot of the stuff that you normally, because you have to plan 6 months in advance. So I had to sit Chad down, and I was like, she had a good time, but she wanted to do all this other stuff. I was like, we've got to plan 6 months in advance, and he had to do. The next year we planned it, but
I had to do a whole lot of carving out. But I think that's something that most people in business have a hard time doing, and I couldn't have done that the first 5 years.
Oh no. Well, we didn't go anywhere the first 5 years.
Yeah, we couldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, because every weekend I worked.
You worked every weekend, and I think
7 days a week.
Once we transitioned out of the flea market and we just had the stores, that's whenever he was able to
get a little break.
And we did get to, but it seemed like every time
something would happen.
Every time we would go on vacation, they wouldn't call and tell us when things would happen, and then when we would get back, it was like everything hit the fan. Literally every time we go, to the point that Chad would be like, I don't even know if I want to go on vacation anymore. So those are things even though we have our second command, which is wonderful, it still comes on him and me at the end of the day. And even though he owns the business, it's still an us type situation, because whatever happens to him or happens to our business, it doesn't stop when it doesn't stop at 5 o'clock. If you want to know more about the family side of this, just hit us down below, give us some comments or email, or if you don't want that and this is all you need, then just check up one of our videos up there.